Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are all weathering this coronavirus storm and that you are keeping safe and you're observing all the protocols being issued by the government of Jamaica. It is for our safety so we can come out of this without any fatalities more than we presently have. At present we have 4 fatalities and I pray that we do not go any further. We understand what science says and we understand what nature says, but we hope for a higher being to have an intervention and that you will practice the actual things that have been issued: social distancing, washing your hands, and coughing in your sleeves. Okay, so guess what? In this economic state that we're having now, that we're having a turn down, the government has issued a stimulus of $10 billion. And guess what? We're all eligible once you fall over the age of 18. So it is also for persons who are unemployed, persons who are the elderly, pensioners, persons who lost their job because of the coronavirus, companies that have had a turn down because of the coronavirus in the tourism sector, barbers, hairdressers, taxi operators were all included in this sector, even tertiary students. So come along with me on the journey and I will tell you exactly how much each person is entitled to and how you can be eligible and what is necessary for the application and the link for the application. Come on, let's go. So in total there are actually 9 programs and I'll start with them one by one. So the first one I'll start with is actually the Set Cash program, which is really supporting employees with transfer of cash. And this program of course is for persons who lost their jobs in the coronavirus. Can you believe it? You lost a job, yet still there's a program just for you. So how can you be eligible? First and foremost, you must be able to prove that you lost your job after March 10th, 2020, which is when Jamaica had its first case identified. And of course, you have to be able to show that you had a taxable income of less than or equal to $1.5 million per annum. And this of course must be verified by the tax administration system. Alright, what you also need to do is that your employer will have to upload a form, which is the P45 form, and it will also state the taxable incomes of persons who are temporarily laid off or terminated. So guess what? If you lost your job between March 10th and June 30th, 2020, you are eligible for this job, for this program. But what will you be getting, right? The benefits of this program is that you will qualify for $9,000 per fortnight, which is every 2 weeks, and it will be paid monthly. So once you'll be getting paid from April, May, and June. So you're getting 3 months payment, and that payment will total to all $54,000 for the entire 3 months. So you'll be getting $18,000 each month, and the total is $54,000 for the 3 months. All right, but you must fit in the categories that I identified early to be eligible for this program. All right, next to our second program, and this one is called the Best Care Program. Why is it called the Best Care Program? Because it is for persons who. So our second program is the Best Cash Program, which is really business employee support and transfer of cash. And this is temporary cash transfer to registered businesses operating in the tourism industry, and of course they must be registered with the Tourism Product Development Company, or TPDCO, based on the number of workers they have employed who fall at the threshold or below the threshold of $1.5 million, which is taxable income. Alright, so who is eligible? So as I said before, they must be registered with TPD Co. They must be also registered with the Tax Administration of Jamaica for at least one employee they must have. They must file payroll returns for April, May, and June, evidencing the number of persons employed and verified the submission of a revised version of the 601 form, which can be found at the Tax Administration System. What will they benefit from? Businesses of this nature will, of course, apply and qualify to receive $9,000 per fortnight for each employee which is retained to their payroll who has a taxable income of less than or equal to $1.5 million as confirmed by the Tax Administration of Jamaica. Payments will be made monthly, so that's for April, May, and June of 2020, which is similar to the one that I mentioned earlier, but it's just that it goes directly through the company who retain these employees. All right, and it will go. This payment will go directly to the business bank account, and they of course will furnish their employees. Our third program, of course, is a set cash program. This is supporting employees with transfer of cash, and they will provide these persons with a cash transfer to individuals where they can be verified that this person lost their job after March 10, 2020, the date at which we had our first COVID case in Jamaica. Who is eligible? Those who were employed prior to March 10th and they've had their statutory deduction being paid on their behalf. If they were laid off or terminated after March 10th to on before June 30th, and evidence of this will of course be required by a P54 form which the employer will also upload to the tax administration system, and they must also be getting a taxable income of 1.5 or less than 1.5. They will be getting a fortnight payment of $9,000, and in total that will be $54,000 over the 3-month period. So that is the set cash program. All right, guys. So persons on part might be asking, I'm on part, will I be getting anything? Yes, you will be getting something. So normally you would have gotten 2 payments between the month of April and June 2020. Now you'll be getting 3 payments, and these payments would have been increased from what you normally get. And this will actually help to support persons who are actually on path. But however, to be able to get this PAT grant, you must have been registered with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security as a beneficiary to be able to be eligible for this payment. Alright guys, the persons on path, you're also qualified under this care package. You might be a small business and wondering, will the government even remember me? Guess what? They do. Once you are a small business that has sales of less than $50 million and you have filed your taxes for the financial year 2019-2020, and you who have filed your payroll returns indicating the employees, you will be eligible for a sum of $100,000. So what else do you need to be able to be eligible for this program? Your business must be registered business, and you must have filed your tax returns for the financial years I had mentioned for 2019, and you must have filed payroll taxes which indicate that you have employees that is verifiable in the form of a revised S01 form via the tax administration system. So this payment of $100,000 will be made within 30 days of you applying for the grant, and you of course is getting this payment one time. Alright guys, so if you own a business, you are also eligible, but you must have been registered with the tax administration. You must have filed your returns and your payroll. Also, taxes must have been filed for the period. Other business persons, like persons who are self-employed, include persons who are hairdressers, barbers, cosmetologists, beauty therapists, persons who are bus operators and taxi operators, nightclub operators, bar operators, craft vendors, Utah, Maxi, and Jekyll, and also market vendors. You are eligible on the general grant, and this grant will fall between $25,000 or $40,000. And I'll tell you who will get the $40,000 compared to who will get the $25,000. So barbers, hairdressers, beauty therapists, cosmetologists, market vendors, taxi operators, and bus operators, PPB licensed or registered with the Transport Authority by April 30th, 2020, they're eligible for $25,000. The other category, which will include bar and nightclubs, carafe vendors, Juta, Maxi, and Jekyll operators who are registered with the Municipal Authority or the Tourism Product Development, respectively, you are eligible for $40,000. But of course, for the persons who fall in the first category for $25,000, you must have at least been registered with the municipal authority in the last 2 years, that is from April 1st, 2018 to April 30th, 2020. For taxi and bus operators, you must have been registered with the Transport Authority by April 30th, 2020. For bar and nightclubs, you must have been registered with the Municipal Authority by April 30th, 2020. For the craft vendors, Juta and Maxi and Jekyll operators, you must be registered with the Tourism Product Development Corporation by April 30th, 2020. So once you fall in any of those categories and you are, of course, registered with the different associations, you will either be eligible for $25,000 or $40,000. You'll have to provide, of course, the data including your TRN, your name, the address, the registration of your actual license with the authority, whether it be TPDCO or the Transport Authority or the Municipal Authority, to be able to be eligible. And of persons in the tourism sector, you're also eligible for a grant, but of course, you must fall in one of the following categories. You must be an inclusive hotel, attraction, or tours company, and you must be registered with the Tourism Product Development or TPDCO company to be able for a one-off grant, which will come from a pool of $1.2 billion. And this selection will be done by an actual grant committee of multi-stakeholders, which will be set up to receive, deliberate, and decide which applicants fill the criteria for the grant. Also, you must have up-to-date management accounts, project cash flow statements with assumptions. You must have a brief recovery plan, a statement of personal assets and liabilities, and of course, evidence of your tax compliance. So the selection will be done by the committee, and they will of course verify, and you receive the grant once you fulfill all the requirements that is stated. These grants are a one-off payment, and it's just for COVID. So I'll move on to my next. The next grant covers everyone who have not fallen in the ones that I've mentioned above, and that is the compassionate grant. And this is for persons who are unemployed, tertiary students, elderly persons, or persons who fall in the informal sector, like if you sell a phone card, banana chips, and these things. And you'll be required to fill out a form online also, and of course you'll have to provide your name, your TRN, your address, and of course your banking information, or if you want to be paid through a remittance service, you will be qualified for $10,000, which is a one-off payment. And if you apply for this one, you can apply for other grants. So you must be able to go through and make sure you apply for the correct grant to be able to get the amount that you truly should get. Persons who are of course paying student loans, you will be given a 3-month relief from deferral of your payments for and you of course won't have any interest payments until July. So that will be May, June, July 2020 for all outstanding repayments. You do not need to apply for this relief program because it's applicable to everybody who is a student loan beneficiary. And of course, you will of course need to start paying after July, which is August. So you now need to start repayment after August. So you will of course be able to get this relief. Members of Parliament have been given monetary assistance for persons who are living in their constituency through their Constituency Development Fund, and they are meant to assist the most vulnerable persons and elderly persons who would not otherwise benefit with food, medicine, hygiene supplies, and water. And constituents can contact their member of Parliament. So if you are in need and you do not want to apply for the grant but you want some assistance for food supplies, you can contact your member of Parliament or your councillor. $50 million will be allocated to the Ministry of Local Government to assist the homeless persons and those in shelters and the elderly in infirmary. So we're giving support to persons who are in infirmaries. $200 million will be allocated to the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Agriculture to assist small farmers who will be affected by the COVID pandemic. So of course, you'd have to visit the actual agency to be able to be guided in that regard. Further information will be provided. But let me get to the application process. How do I apply and where do I apply? So many persons would have been trying to apply on the website, that is www.wecare.gov.jm, and they might have been getting some problem. I will post in the description the actual link that works, and I've tried it for the compassionate grants. I've been getting some problem for the barbers. I don't know if the things that I have been given are not correct, but I'll definitely try tomorrow to see if those works. But I've recognized that the compassionate grant have gone through for a number of persons, and I've asked other persons. If you do not have a computer at home, you can use it on your phone. If you're unable to do that too, you can also contact persons who are affiliated with your member of Parliament for assistance, or persons you know who will be eligible and able to do this and help you. It is your money. It is taxpayers' money. Do not take the money if you do not need it, and do not lie about whatever it is. Based on what the Prime Minister has said, you might have to pay back monies if you take monies that you're undeserving of. So go out and make sure you apply for it. So I think it from my head it is https://app.wecare.gov.jm. I will post a link below for the correct link. And guys, keep safe and listen to your Prime Minister and those in charge at this moment, and seek care from your member of Parliament if you wish, and seek care for your family. Wash your hands, keep safe, and of course be careful how you spend. If you get the compassionate grant or any of those, do not squander it and just liquor. Use it for meaningful things. If you can pay off some debts for persons who are business owners, pay off some debts and clear up some debts, because we do not understand the complete trajectory of the economy going forward. Even persons who might be having deferral for student loan, see where you can apply monies where you have the availability to do so. And persons who have lost your job, there is hope for you. So I love you, keep safe, and thank you for watching my channel. If you have any questions or any queries, any problems, you can contact me. For whatever reasons, you can of course send your questions or call the helpline, which is 884-WE-CARE or 888-492273. I'll definitely post it in the description. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you keep safe. Bless out and love. No to coronavirus.